Well, Nebraska was outside today on the grass practice field as they get ready for Saturday's game at Northwestern, as this will be the only time the Huskers play on grass all year. And running backs coach Ryan Held said you just got to play.
Well, the good thing is we both play on the same surface, and we practice out today on the grass. We'll do it again, one more practice, probably Friday. And, so our guys will be used to it. We did in fall camp. I mean, it is what it is, I mean, when I was a head coach for many years, we had grass and guys that were used to turf, the teams that didn't worry about it went out there and were able to get it done. If you worry about all that, then, things you can't control, then it can affect you. Obviously, our guys, that's not going to affect them. They'll be fine. We've played on it every other year, so we should be good to go.
As for what the Huskers are working on this week in practice, a lot of it on offense right now is concentrated on improving third downs.
We've been in too many third downs, and anytime you're in third down and third down and long, then it's tough, and defenses can do a lot of different things, and so we've got to be more productive and efficient first and second downs, and so we don't get to as many third downs, and if we do, they're third and manageable, and so that's something that we're working on, and we've got to be better Saturday.
We have a disproportionate number of third and longs. Right. I mean, for example, if you have 100 plays in a game, 20 to 25 are going to be third down calls, right? And then from that percentage, you'd rather have 4, 5, 6% of that percentage to be your short yardage calls. Well, ours are flipped. And so if you're in third and long and you convert 25% of those, that's not bad. You're right. If you get the other percentages, the one that typically is going to indicate whether you're going to get 45% conversion ratio is your third and medium. So if you split those and you go 50-50, more times than not, you're going to end up being 45%, which is what you want. And if you can get higher, that's great. We just have a high percentage right now of third and longs, and due to our own fault. So those are obviously difficult to convert. And, when you're in third and longs, the defense had the advantage, not us.
Another guy who continues to impress as well in this freshman class has been running back Maurice Washington.
He's a playmaker, so we're going to find ways to get him the ball, find ways to match him up against someone that he has an advantage over. And so you're going to see him in a number of different roles. And, we've got to be smart. He's still a freshman, so we can't overwork him, but we definitely have to try to find ways to get the ball in his hands, and because when he has the ball in his hands, he's pretty special.
Well, he's obviously, you can see he can do some things. He's a tough matchup. He's obviously a good running back, but then he can bring a good receiving element. He can present mismatch problems. So, he played more than he's played in the past, but that's his role moving forward. Him and Devine will get a lot of the load, and so we'll keep building him up at practice to where he can take on that kind of role. I think he was at 40-plus plays. He's normally been in the 20s, so we doubled his workload. So we got to be smart to build him up the right way so he can go out there and play for 4 quarters.
However, running backs coach Ryan Held said he remains confident that there's more running backs on this roster that can play besides just Devine Ozigbo and Maurice Washington.
Well, no, I mean, Wyatt has done a really good job, and Wilbon's stepped his game up. So, I feel like I got 4 guys that are, on alert 5, so to speak, and ready to go. We don't have any qualms putting any guy in. But I think those 2, barring an injury, will get a lot of the reps moving forward.
The other big storyline that's developed this week on the offense involved Cameron Jurgens. The Huskers moved the Beatrice true freshman native over to the offensive line after starting his career out at tight end.
Well, he still comes in for my install meetings initially. And then for the rest of the week, on Mondays, he will meet with me to get the initial install and then go with the offensive line. The rest of the week, he basically would do all the individuals with the O-line, and then finish up at the back of the week, getting back to the understanding what's going on for the game plan. So,
what you see is explosiveness now. He'll take a guy on a freaking angle and finish him, 5 or 10 yards, from the line of scrimmage. So you saw the explosiveness, and then I can honestly, tell you that it was Coach Frost doing, with the initial, hey, this guy can be the, second coming of Dave Ribby. Remington. So that's that's a big name to throw out. But and when he threw it out, I was like, come on, coach, that's Dave Remington now. Right. And then we've been working with him, and he's done a great job with it.
And finally, it goes without saying, penalties continue to be a big point of emphasis for Nebraska.
You coach the issue. I don't attack the result, I attack the issue. Like, what is the issue? Penalties keep coming up, and now, as I get into the meeting room, I'm like, hey, this is why. I attack the why. As a coach, you can sit up there and yell at the guys for the result, or you can say, hey, move your feet, don't grab. Keep your feet active, get your body in a position to where you're not called for holding. Or take the right set line, don't overset a kid and allow the kid to come inside of you and you grab him. So those are the things that, we coach on the sideline. Those are the things that we coached even after the game. And you just continue to coach through those situations, You can get mad all you want to. Now, I will get a little bit emotional, right, so to speak, when bonehead penalties come up, like offsides and things like MAs, those things, like not being dialed in. Now, that's when I get a little bit, pissed off. But generally speaking, when it's in the middle of the play penalty, then we have to continue to coach the technique, coach the set lines, and then go back and look at how we coach it and see if there's a new way of doing it that prevents us from being in those situations.
In injury news, though, Cameron Jurgens did not practice here on Wednesday. He was seen on crutches with his right ankle in a boot. With the Huskers in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.